In today's second video about Chapter Approved Missions 2022, we are looking at Tear Down Their Icons. And it's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, I'm here back with Richard. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Nick.
Richard has his own YouTube channel in the description below. If you didn't know that already, check it out. And on the back of the last video we did, I'm not sure when you saw that, maybe yesterday, maybe last week, we are going to do the second mission, so tear down their icons, and let's have a look at this mission and table map. Okay, so this is the map, an interesting one this. There's 5 objectives, 1 slap bang in the middle in this mission, and then 2 on the outer edge. However, the deployment is in these little funny sort of triangles.
Yeah, sort of a sandwich shape, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I think it's pretty obvious though, especially for Necrons, you're going to be wanting to go straight into hammer and anvil deployment. In other words, you're going to be taking this, having units here to go straight out, and then any units here will go straight into the middle. So effectively, you've got to turn the game this way. Now, potentially, some armies might want to turn it into the traditional.
Yeah, but if they do, all you're doing is you're bringing your army round this way to counteract.
Yeah.
So you're still keeping a distance, but to be honest, you're trying. If you're going first, you're saying right, hammer and anvil. This is a way. And,
I think both sides are basically going to try to hold this objective. They're going to move out onto this objective, but then it's all about the middle.
Yes.
Now the secondaries for this one is quite interesting. It's about putting down explosions, mines, and then your opponent can actually counteract that with an action as well.
Anywhere in your opponent's half of the table.
Yeah.
Got to be, I believe, 6 inches or wholly within your opponent's deployment zone, and can't be within 6 inches of another explosive. You prime it. If at the end of the game it's still primed, you score points.
Yeah. Because we have played this game, and neither of us actually did the mines until the right at the end, which I managed to get a couple in with some flayed ones that deep striked in on turn 3. I think the reason for that is basically because your opponent can counter it. If you put them down too early, your opponent's just going to stop them straight up.
Yeah, I mean, unless they haven't got anything that can do an action and still shoot, because if it's a character, they can't use their auras or anything.
Yeah.
So there is.
But I think if you, let's say you deep strike in like turn 2, you do it. I mean, they're going to have like 3 turns to take that off,
I mean, like my Gaz list, I can comfortably move Gaz up, put my battle wagon there. So do it with my battle wagon and say to you, well, you come and worry about the battle wagon, that when you've got everything in your face. No, you're not. So, but it depends on the list you've got. I mean, I don't think you can do it with unless you go and Ghost Arcs or something like that. And then
it's an interesting secondary. It sounds like fun. I don't know how much I like it. To be fair, it's a bit finicky, but yeah, it's interesting.
Quirky. I mean, I think coming up at a tournament, if you could, and you'll sort of. You're going second. You're 3 points behind. Last turn, boom, 3 points there, and you can swing a few points on another secondary. You can turn the game with it. Yeah. But
now, in terms of obviously the primary, it's 4 points for 1, 8 points for 2, and then 12 points for hold more. Yeah. Which obviously with 5 objectives, you're going to be looking at your 2, and obviously it's all about the centre one, which potentially. Stranglehold could be quite a good secondary as well.
Again, I'd be looking at Stranglehold unless I'm facing Custodes or Death Guard, and then I'm considering am I going to be more durable than them? And sometimes that's luck of the dice sometimes.
Yeah, and also depends if you're going first and second, of
Yeah.
course, as well, whether you can make that jump onto the objective. Because if you've got a fast army coming in, I mean, I've done it. You've done it against me, haven't you? I've been in my deployment zone. You've gone turn one. You're in the middle of the board, and I've got no hope of getting on there.
Yeah. But if you've got something that's fast but not necessarily as durable, you could, if they come to you, you can wipe them and then move forward. I mean, second gives you the advantage late game.
Yeah.
Going first could possibly give you that early advantage, and if you're more durable than your opponent, you're going to be
more durable and potentially objective secure as well.
Yeah, I mean, again,
because that can make a big difference if your opponent hasn't got much obsec, and your whole army is, or you've got some units which is. This is why I like.
This is why I mean, I like the objective secure and the relentless expansionist and 6-inch pre-game move, because again, I mean, you can move it forward, or you can hide it, move back and hide. If you need to, so it's quite a good combo, and we've spoken about Novok, and you can use the others, but again, I think that extra abilities the Novok give you in combat, if you're building it, and I would be building a list around either one of those, they're the ones that I would be looking at, either the everything objective secured, because let's be honest, it's a pain for your opponent if everything's got objectives secured and they haven't got that ability or an ability like the Space Marine's got, where they give a character rights of war, which gives every core unit objective secured.
Yeah.
Then you're going to struggle. I know that Jeskol's have got it. Or the infantry, orcs infantry, but again, it's only infantry. It's not vehicles. I mean,
yeah.
You put a Ghost of Huck on that with quantum shielding and everything. And it's objective secured. It's a pain to move, especially if you haven't got anything that's objective secured.
No, exactly.
To trade with it.
And then when you're looking at your opponents, I think the key thing is to see if there are any weak objectives. Yeah. So I mean, if your opponent's deployed primarily here, they're coming this end and they just put like a small squad over on that objective, it might be worth not necessarily even trying to get that objective, but maybe threatening that objective. Like if you start putting, let's just say you've got some wraiths and your wraiths go over here, you might be able to siphon a unit off that's trying to get here over here to protect it. If you can siphon the unit off, I mean the wraiths probably will die, maybe won't do much, but at least you might be able to protect the middle a bit more.
Yeah, what I'd be thinking is turn 3, I'd be wanting to just keep him into the sort of this quarter and strangle the life out of him by turn, and then the turn 4 and 5 you're giving him nothing.
Also will give you that, get you in that position maybe for later in the game where you could potentially put down a couple of mines right at the end. Turn 4 and 5 potentially. Okay, in terms of secondaries, we've obviously got Stranglehold. I mean, if you're taking potentially the Silent King, you might potentially want Code of Combat.
Yeah.
Obviously, Purge the Vermin is another great one, as always.
I mean, because you could be fighting over the centre. Is it the teleport homers where you're within 6 of the centre and no enemy is within 6 of the centre? Again, not a bad one to consider. Yeah. It's a different option, and if you're going here, and you're going maybe Stranglehold and raise the banners, you could say, well, do I go Code of Combat? Do I just go for the teleport homers, and every time that's 3 points, and it's at the end of my turn.
Yep.
So you come here, you kill the unit that's within 6 inches, and then you've got 3 points. He's got to send another unit, and he's got to keep on putting units out there for you to.
And R&D, I mean, you should be able to get at least 3 R&Ds up with this board.
Easily.
Potentially, not 4, but you should get 3.
Yeah, I mean, most maps and most missions, you're guaranteed 3.
Yeah.
I mean, there are even possibilities you just late game chuck it. Say, games 1, I'll chuck it there just to increase my points tally.
Yep.
And
what I do is I always plan my R&D. I don't just do it randomly. You know, I have it on my list. Like turn 1, it's going to be that unit doing it, or I might have a couple of options.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm planning to come in from reserve. So, for example, if I've got flayed ones in reserve, and on my list it might say flayed ones turn 2 do R&D. Well, they may not be able to do that. So I have a backup. So if my flayed ones hold to turn 3 to come in, then I've got a backup unit to do my R&D the second turn. So my aim is to do it on like turn 3, 2, 3 and 4 or whatever. So it's planning rather than just doing it willy-nilly.
Yeah, I mean, I will say from our last match-up that I had a unit of 5 sort of here, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I moved them to do the first R&D in round 1. And I rolled a 6. So I would say
definitely 6.
Go 6. Don't take the risk.
It's not worth it, is it?
No, it's not. It's not worth it.
On the flip side of that, you had 2 guys in a unit and you rolled a 1 later in the game.
Yeah, but I had no choice but to do that.
Yeah. Now, of course, if you've got anything to add on all of these videos, on all of the missions that will help other Necron players, something that maybe we've missed or not thought of, then definitely make those comments below, because it's all about learning how to win with Necrons together. So yeah, we look forward to your comments, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.